Hey guys, for today's video we'll be covering the tutorial number 1 for term 4, and this can also be used as a revision for paper 1. Alright, so looking at question number 1, they say consider the numbers below, and they ask us the first question to list a prime number. The prime number in that question is, in that box is 5. The next question is an irrational number, that would be the square root of 35 because the decimals go on, and a factor of 32 would be 8, and a square number would be 36 because the square root of 36 is equal to 6. And then they ask us for an unreal number. Next they ask us an unreal number. In that case would be the negative square root or the square root of negative 6. Then they ask us to write the following 6480 as a prime factors. We can use the factor tree, or we can use the table which I have used here. You can use either of those methods, or you can use the method on your calculator if you have a Casio calculator and know how to do that. And then they ask us for determine the HCF and LCM of 156 and 405. Remember, when you determine the HCF, it is the highest common factor and the LCM is the lowest common factor. Question number 2, they ask you to simplify the following. As you can see, there's 3 marks allocated by simplifying. What I did here is, you normally get marks allocated to the simplifying, the calculating, and the answers. That is how your 3 marks is being calculated. So remember those 3 steps and try to eliminate the steps, to eliminate mistakes during their steps. Question number 2.2, there you were again supposed to simplify, but now we have a division and a multiplication, which makes it a little more complicated, but still remember your basics of exponents, laws of exponents, and then apply all the laws that is applicable into the exponents. And also don't forget to do the basic calculations, like for instance 8 over 16, that should be simplified to 1/2. Then when we have the same base, and we're multiplying, we can add our exponents. And then if we have the same base and we're dividing algebra, we can, or any numbers that have the same base, we can subtract our exponents from each other. And there I also indicated it to you. The next question is then they check for simplification, once again, calculation and answer. The next question is then to write in scientific notation. We have 0. Question number 3 says there are 240 children at the party. The ratio number of boys to the number of girls is 3:1. How many boys are at the party? So we should determine, if there's 240 in total, it means 3/4 of those children are boys. And to determine 3/4 of 240, you know how to do the calculation, and your answer would be 60 times 3, which equals to 180. The next one says Petrus takes a bus to school. The bus travels at an average speed of 40 kilometers per hour. The school is 9 kilometers from his house. And how many minutes does it take to get to school? Now Petrus is there, and Petrus needs to get to school. So remember, to determine what do they ask us, ask yourself, what are you being asked? And you are being asked time. Now if you remember, the triangle says we have distance and we have speed, so we are supposed to calculate time. And in order to calculate time, we divide our distance by our speed, and then we get the time. So our distance is 9 kilometers, and then our speed is 40 kilometers per hour. Now all we have to do is substitute. So we're going to say 9 over 40 times with 60 because we were working with minutes. So if simplified, it's 9 over 2 times with 3, which equals to 27 over 2, which equals to 14.5 minutes. Now you don't get something as a half a minute, you do get something as a half a minute, but because we understand what we are writing, we would rather write it as 14 minutes and 30 seconds. The next question.
If I sell 2 sandwiches for $10 each, that equals... money.
Peter, you just made $20 from 2 sandwiches.
Well, you're right. Hey, maybe I could turn this into a business. You know, selling sandwiches from a car. Wonder how much I could make.
Is Bongi invests 12,000 Rand in his savings account at 6.5 per annum compound interest, and calculate how much they will be in the savings account after 5 years. Now we're talking money now.
Money makes the world go round.
So financial maths is very simple. You know the difference between the two formulas is your simple interest and your compound interest, and then your A stands for your end total, your P stands for your initial or your starting amount, I stands for interest per annum. But if they only provide you with the percentage, you should always divide it by 100 because percentage is out of 100. And then N is your time period, or how long you are investing the money. Right, question number 4 is patterns, and they gave you the following patterns of matchsticks. The first matchstick starts with, they ask you how many matchsticks will there be in 12 pattern. We calculate this by using the formula, and the difference is 4. There's a constant difference is 4, and then we just use our formula to calculate what our next number will be. And then they ask us, because we have our pattern now, they ask us which pattern number will have 59 matchsticks. That will calculate. Now we say 59 would be equal to 15. If I'm going too fast for you, you can always go back and pause the video and slow it down. There's a slow down option at the bottom of the screen which you can use and see how I calculated this. Question number 5 is the one where they give us simplification of algebra. The first one, we had to multiply the products. So when multiplying out, we first expand the products and then we simplify by adding or subtracting like terms. Then the next one, we had to divide the terms over a denominator, and I do it the following way by writing each term over the denominator and simplifying each term individually and then writing it out separately. Solve for x, that is simple inverse opposites that you should apply there, and factorize. Now remember, factorize, you have 4 types of factorization, namely common factor, grouping, difference between 2 squares, and who can tell me what is the other one? Leave a comment below if you can remember or enlighten me so that I can see if you study your work. Alright guys, so there's your explanation and how you are supposed to do everything. At a difference between 2 squares, what normally happens is you write your first term, your second term in the 2 brackets, and then you will write it under the square root. You can then put it into a calculator and just simply simplify, and then you have your answer. So thank you for tuning in. Mr. Le Cordeur, over and out. 0.00031 and